know what? This is going to be a mighty interesting quick chat with some of the brilliant business leaders of India regarding male stereotyping that has been going around since ages and how to defy it in today's time. And I have with me none other than Niti Kumar, the COO of Starcom. Welcome, Niti.
Hi, thank you. Pleasure to be a part of this and really nice to be here with you.
Fantastic. Now let's kick things off with our icebreaker Buzz It Out segment. I am going to read out some statements and you need to react to it by pressing the buzzer, which is in right front of you. Once or twice or thrice, based on how you strongly want to react. Got it?
Done.
Okay. Here's the first one. Men are not emotional.
Yeah, I think they are not. It's a fact. I think they've been trained not to be emotional. I think it's one of the things we probably need to change. And it's okay to show your emotions no matter what your gender is.
Okay, next. Men are the sole breadwinners.
I think this is one thing which unfortunately is still very true. Even if women are working, they are working as a hobby or as a pastime to supplement the men's income. I personally believe this is something that we really quickly need to change. I think most women are equally equipped to be the key breadwinners, and we should equip them to do it, train them to do it, and train men to be okay with it. Yeah.
Okay, how about male bosses are not empathetic?
So actually, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. So I think that's one stereotype which, in my personal experience, has not been true. All of the male bosses that I've worked with have been extremely empathetic, and I can give you a very small example. So when I delivered my baby, long back of course, I of course struggled with coming back to work because I had no help at home. No ecosystem to support the child, and I was actually contemplating maybe taking a sabbatical or quitting work altogether, and by a male boss who was surprisingly very he understood the situation, and he actually came home to meet me one day, and I remember I was feeding my baby and he waited for 1 hour, and once I was done and we met, and he said, "Why don't you come back to work?" So I was like, how can I with this, little thing who needs me all the time? So he was like, bring him to work with you. And it was fabulous. And I still, when I talk to him, I tell him that it's because of that I'm still working today. So I don't think male bosses are not empathetic. I will not agree with that stereotype.
Wow, your choice of words hints at your point of view regarding male stereotypes. So tell me, when was the first time in your life an incident might have made you sit up and notice the male stereotypical mindset?
So I think, so I grew up in a very conservative Marwari family. Yeah. And in a city like Calcutta, which is also conservative, right? So I think I saw it all around me. Ever since the day I was born, whether it is the fact that I never saw male members in my family cry, I never saw them express emotion, they kept a distance even from children or from their parents. So it was a very stoic existence for men. Very clearly, men were going out to work and the women were looking after the house. I don't think you could get most of the men in my family that I was surrounded with while growing up to go into the kitchen and get them to put the gas on. Impossible, right? So I think these kind of stereotypes are seen all around, right? And of course, things have evolved a lot now. So I think the household that I live in now, my little nuclear world, my husband cooks, my son cooks, he's 17 years old, he makes his own breakfast, he made it yesterday, they make the bed, they know how to operate the washing machine, and they contribute equally to the house. So I think stereotypes are kind of coming to an end, but they still exist. So I think there's a long way to go.
Yeah, so Niti, as a leader, how do you ensure that no such thing is happening in your organization?
So I try to actually be very consciously empathetic. I think I've learned a lot from the empathetic bosses that I've had, right? It's actually it's hard to balance. One, as a woman, you kind of try and balance being fair and being just to certain situations which women at work face, right? But I also try to be very conscious about not being unfair to the men. It's kind of a bit of a reverse situation. So I try and create an environment of trust. I think that is one thing that's critical. No matter what your issue, you're encouraged to come and talk about it. And the fact that, for instance, only women should work on skincare brands, or only women should work, only guys should work on cars. I think those kind of things we've consciously dispelled. Had a very, very good gender mix across clients, across the agency as a whole. So I think that's kind of helping. I hope my team will agree as well.
Fantastic. So Niti, can you recall a moment where challenging the stigma surrounding men's mental health positively influenced your own journey or that of someone you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been working for over 20 years now, and my teams have been mixed, women, men, both in the team. I always found, so there's one incident that actually stands out, right? There was a person who was working with me, and he was going through a slightly bad patch in his personal life, right? I think he was having some family issues. And I think the great thing is he decided to come and confide in me, but he, after he told me about the issues, he qualified it with, but don't worry, I will not let it affect my work. And for a minute I was taken aback, right? Because you're going through so much. How can you say, don't worry, it will not affect my work? I think what I told him is that, in fact, rather, I think it's better that you ask for support. If you're going through all of this, if you need, whether it's a little bit of flexibility, whether it is, some changes that you need in the way we are allocating work to you, we should be able to provide you that support, right? So I think for a lot of men, the fact that they need support, whether on mental health, whether on issues that's going on at home, it's just not a thing. It doesn't strike them. They've been told you have to live in this way, you are the primary bread earner, you're the strong one, you're the shoulder to cry on, right? But what happens when they need some support? So I think we definitely need to come together, and doing that, I would hope, helped him. Because when I told him that to ask for support, he kind of looked a little taken aback that, can I even do that? But I think it's something men need to think about, that ask for support, not necessarily to women, to other men, to your younger colleagues. It always creates a healthier environment and happier for everyone to work in.
Fantastic. So does the effort to counter the male stereotypical mindset in a society must begin at a young age?
Yes, I think it should begin at a young age, because I think 2-3 things that you see is, one, children learn, whether it's girls or boys, children learn a lot from what they observe, the way they see their parents behave, or their relatives behave, or their friends behave. And if a boy sees his dad being necessarily only very macho, not expressing emotions, he also grows up assuming that's how they behave. Kids idolize parents, right? So I think absolutely at a very young age, as parents, it's our responsibility to actually tell kids that it's okay. So for instance, it's not necessary that, very simply put, a boy's birthday has to have blue balloons and blue clothes, or that a boy cannot wear, let's say, jewelry if he wants to, right? So we do need to start it at a very, very early age, and that's when we'll actually see change, because it needs to be ingrained while they are growing up, and then they'll pass it on to their children, and that's how I feel change will be driven.
Well, now I am going to act as characters with strong gender stereotypical views, speaking to you, of course, and you need to show us verbally or non-verbally how to discourage or defy such conversations, and of course your views. And you got to be quick. Ready? Okay, so the first one. I am your corporate colleague talking to you. Niti, I think that we should recruit a male for the new open position we have. After all, that job needs someone authoritative, you know.
Definitely not. I can show you, 2-3 times how women can be equally authoritative. And are you then questioning my authority, for example? Oh, please. Yeah.
Niti, now I am acting as an aged relative. Niti, it's a little boy's birthday. Why are you going with a doll? Take a gun or a car or a superhero.
But auntie, boy को भी तो सीखना चाहिए ना how to work with, play with dolls. He will also have a child at some point. So he needs to learn how to handle things. And if he wants to play with a doll, let him experiment. Let him decide what he wants to do. आप क्यों दे रहे हो कुछ कि गन से ही खेलना है या इससे ही खेलना है? Definitely not. I think this is something we positively need to change.
Perfect. You are too good at it, and it was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Niti, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this discussion regarding male stereotyping is, of course, very essential, and we will continue to defy stereotyping in every way possible, as wonderfully shared by Niti today. Thank you so much, and you guys keep watching this space. We will be back for more engaging chats with top business leaders and see how they react to the issue. Until then, keep breaking those stereotypes.
Thank you.